This is 2K Sports broadcasting from Milwaukee as the Bucks take it to the hardwood at the Bradley Center. Phoenix right now in the middle of a road trip. They haven't started out with the success they had hoped for, but the season obviously is still very young.
You know, at the start of every season, everybody thinks they're going to be playing for a championship, or at least that's what they say. That optimism can really come into cold reality when you start as slowly as they have.
Well, they haven't done much to turn it around, Clark. I mean, they may have really liked their plan coming into the season, but they can only stick with it for so long. Eventually, they're going to have to take a different course.
Now the opening lineup for the Phoenix Suns. It's presented by State Farm. Dudley and Hill at the 2 and the 3. Gortat is out there with Markieff Morris, and it's Brown in at the point guard position. And for Milwaukee, they've got Jennings, Ilyasova out there with Gooden, then it's Mbamute, and it's Ellis in at the shooting guard.
You know, guys, despite the fact that the Suns fell off a little bit at home last season, they hung pretty tough against the East, going 17 and 13 in matchups against the other conference.
Here is Ilyasova. Here's Brown. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Kevin, I briefly spoke with Alvin Gentry. A key concern for his side is how to keep Monte Ellis from running amok on their defense. He said there are very few players in the league who can take a sliver or a seam in a defense and turn it into 2 points as efficiently as Monte Ellis does. He said one step and he's at the rim. We have to move our feet as a unit or he'll get to the rim all game long. Guys?
Thanks again, Doris. He dishes it to Ilyasova. Clock at 6. Gooden. Brown's there. And that one's good by Gooden. Well, going back to the record, Clark, of last year, they struggled against the West, but you're right, they still had a winning record against the East.
Well, that's to be expected, Kevin. The East was the weaker conference top to bottom. And, of course, the Suns, their style was maybe a little different for those Eastern Conference teams to adapt to. And maybe Phoenix caught them off guard a little bit.
Here is Dudley after the basket by Milwaukee. Mbamute snatched in. Ellis with it. He's coming off a 28-point game against the 76ers in Philadelphia. Ellis left side. Hits the 15-footer.
Monte Ellis last year led the NBA with 4 different 40-point-plus games. I mean, just a creative, explosive scorer, and he's got that mid-range pull-up that he can use at any time.
Here is Dudley after the made shot from Monte Ellis. Outside Hill. Out of bounds, and they'll keep possession. And we talk about Monte Ellis, and we talk about him a lot. His offensive arsenal. He's also added a three-point shot now, which has been so effective.
Yeah, he shot a solid 36% from long range last season, Kevin, and shot almost 5 threes a game. Defenders have to play him for the drive, so he's got space to shoot that 3 most times.
So it's Milwaukee now. The Suns getting the bucket. They set the pick. Pulls up on the wing. Can't get it to go. And Phoenix will take it the other way. Defeated by the Pacers in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
And a big key to the loss to me was how poorly they shot their free throws. They just didn't make the most of their opportunities at the line.
They sure didn't. I'm not sure if it was a lack of concentration or confidence or a combination of the two, but they never looked settled at the strike.
Jennings. Phoenix grabs the miss. This game against Milwaukee here, it's their first look at the Bucks.
Well, some called their series last year kind of a measuring stick for which conference was the better one, and they represented their conference pretty well.
Now, here's Brown. He had 15 points last outing. Gets it to go.
Yeah, saw just a little bit of daylight, went right to the rim.
Steve just talked about it. These teams were in very similar positions in their respective conference standings last season.
And, Kevin, they made their conference look pretty good by taking both of those games. You know, Monte Ellis, he's a great scorer, but he also brings to mind the illustrated man. He's got plenty of tattoos. He's pretty much all covered, especially on those arms.
The first free throw is good. Well, as Clark says, Monte Ellis was asked how many tattoos he's had. He said he lost count at 18, and I believe him. Steve, I know you've got 20, 25 yourself. I heard you go to the same tattoo guy or not?
Yeah, same guy. And, you know, I got a dragon on my back this year. And it's probably my favorite tattoo. Here, I'll show it to you right here. Great awareness by fouling on that layup. Make him earn 2 points.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, send him to the line instead of giving up an easy 2.
First one falls for him.
How amazing is it, Kevin, to see Grant Hill really enjoying a second prime in his late 30s. I mean, he's been remarkably durable for a player of his age. He's played 80-plus games 3 years in a row now.
Good note there, Clark, on Grant Hill. He's just the third player in NBA history to record 3 seasons of 80 games or more played. Steve, after the age of 30. Remarkable.
And especially when you consider the injuries that hit him in the prime of his career, all those foot surgeries. So it's been a real renaissance for Grant Hill. Just an amazing turnaround to his career and a fantastic player and leader for that club.
Here is Ilyasova. With the clock winding down. And that one's good by Gooden. Gooden's got his second basket of the night. Suns leading by 5. Brown kicks to Gortat. He's against Gooden. Here's the mayor. 13 feet out. Count the bucket.
Right now, it's all working for him here in the first. The shots have been falling.
Yeah, their offense has been very impressive. If they keep this up, Clark, they're going to be tough to beat.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game.
Well, Milwaukee, going into last season, guys, really looked to be on the upswing. They had made the playoffs the previous year. They had a nice group of young players, but the free agent acquisitions that they made really didn't pan out.
Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. You look at the Bucks. Long way to go still in the season, but even so, they've got the top spot. And, of course, there's the Heat, tied in first place with them.
Well, right now for the Bucks, they've gotten off to exactly the kind of start they were hoping for. It may be just a small sample size, but they've really been impressive.
Well, they've caught me off guard, Clark, because prior to the season, I didn't think they would be very good. But they've been impressive. They've done a nice job of putting together a solid roster. And this team is playing hard for their coach. They're competing on a nightly basis, and they've built some early momentum here in the season.
Shots good from Mbah-a-Moute.
Now, a second chance sometimes make a huge difference in a game like this.
Outside Hill. And it's going to be a 3-second call. Bucks trail by 5. Jennings. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Ellis outside. Shot clock at 6. Now Jennings misses in close.
That's exactly where they wanted to go with the ball, even though he didn't finish.
Here's Brown. Another 3 for Phoenix.
They just lost him on the break that time defensively. I mean, he slid out to the three-point line and had plenty of room.
Now here's Mbamute. Passes it to Ilyasova. Right up, and he converts the layup. Mbamute's got his second bucket.
Excellent execution of the plan there.
Brown against Jennings. Brown kicks to Hill. Here is Gortat. With 1 on the clock. Can't get it to go. And the Bucks going the other way right now. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
And above all else in that game, the long-range shooting, to me, was what made the biggest impact.
Well, you called it. You're all over it, Steve. I mean, it's really hard for an opponent to overcome that kind of three-point barrage. I mean, I think it's the great equalizer. You can negate a lot of weaknesses if you can make three-point shots.
And no one able to grab it as it goes out of bounds. Here is Jennings. He had 16 points in the win against Philadelphia.
A few things you know you're going to get with a Scott Skiles coach team. Tough defense, tough-mindedness, and fundamentals are going to be demanded. That was a formula that worked for the Bucks in their playoff run in 2010, but they need to find some offense now.
Here is Ilyasova. 9-point game his last outing.
Well, that was a great steal. Prevented what may have been an easy hoop.
He passes it to Hill. Moving the ball well. The rebound by the Bucks. Back to Skiles. Unfortunately, last year they were just okay in those areas. But, Steve, they just had a horrible offense.
They were very good defensively, Kevin, but they just could not score. And I think that's the big challenge this year for the Bucks if they're going to get back into the playoffs. They've got to find a way to get easy baskets offensively.
It's been a struggle. It's not happening right now. He needs to settle down a bit and let the offense come to him a little more. He's forcing things right now.
Here's Brown. Buries the easy one. Brown's got 7.
Yeah, they're finding the open man. Unselfish play. I like it.
Yeah, I love it, too. Teamwork in evidence there, right on full display. A big percentage, a high percentage of their baskets have come off assists.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee.
Well, prior to last season, the Suns decided to let Amari Stoudemire leave for free agency. They were concerned that with all of his injuries, they just couldn't justify giving him a long-term big deal.
Veterans checked in for Milwaukee. And the Suns making a change here. Here is Ilyasova. Here's Fry. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Here's the Mayor. Now Telfair. The Mayor grabs the long rebound. Off the mark with the outside fadeaway.
Not the smartest shot in the world there.
Got to use your head out here. You can't just play. You got to think about it a little bit, too.
Both teams have it going here early and still close through the first quarter. Suns ahead, up 3.
And it's been beautiful basketball to watch, guys. Really sharing and moving the ball, and as a result, they've got a great flow going.
Hand in glove, 5 guys working as one. The power of the fist, we call it. They've racked up a bunch of assists.
And it's more NBA action coming your way here on 2K Sports.
The NBA season gathers momentum. Rajon Rondo and the Boston Celtics go up against LeBron James and the Miami Heat next Wednesday, 8 Eastern. Don't miss it.
And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. Here is Telfair. And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. And Phoenix looking who they've got on the floor. The Mayor in at 2-guard. Marquise Morris is out there with Josh Childress. Then there's Telfair. And it's Fry in at the center position. Here's the Mayor. He had an 18-point outing in their last game against Indiana. The shot's good. Telfair making the play.
Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Here's Udrich. There's the dish to Delfino. Jacks up a three. The Mayor crabs the rock.
Solid advantage in the rebounding totals for them so far here.
You know, in every game, but particularly in a close game, every little advantage you can use helps, and they're certainly enjoying one on the glass here.
Here is Sanders. Jennings with the ball. Now the pass to Udrich. Launches a three. The shot is off, and it's the Suns taking it the other way. They've got the Pistons ahead of them in their next game in Detroit, and they're playing through a string of road games that will be game 5 of the 6 on the road. Udo comes in with the double team. Feeds to Childress. 6 on the shot clock. And there's the feed to Telfair. The tray. It's rebounded by Udo. Bucks trail by 5. Now Udrich. Dishes to Jennings. Outside Delfino. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. Delfino's got himself on the board with 3 there.
You know, Kevin, another serious concussion suffered by Carlos Delfino last season, and as a result, he had to miss 36 games. That hurt the Bucks.
And the Suns miss again.
He's not necessarily a strong inside presence, but he needs to polish those chances off.
That misses. Had a chance to tie it there. But for Delfino, his most recent concussions seem to be the result of a number of blows over the course of a couple days. Steve, he was in some dire straits there for a while. Had to miss, as Clark said, 36 games.
Yeah, he suffered from post-concussion syndrome for about 2 months. A lot of people were worried whether he'd be able to play basketball again. So great to see him back out on the court and healthy again.
So it's Milwaukee. Phoenix able to drain the 3. Jennings passes to Udrich. He kicks it to Udo. It's good. This time the assist from Udrich. Udo's got his first bucket of the night. Here's the Mayor. Jumps up and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
You know, the story with Milwaukee last year was a team that just struggled to score the ball, Kevin. I mean, nobody was able to consistently put it in the basket for them.
And Clark, on that note, only 6 Bucks in double-digit scoring averages last year, with Jennings, the fleet-footed Jennings, topping the list at 16.
You know, it's just the fact that the top scorer was only at 16 a game.
Yeah, and Jennings was shooting about 40%, so that's part of the problem. He takes a lot of shots. He doesn't always make them. So usually you need your top scorers to be high percentage shooters. It allows you to get back defensively, and it allows you to really be able to count on somebody night after night.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Drew Gooden has checked in for Udo. Ilyasova comes in for Larry Sanders. And Mbamute comes in for Carlos Delfino. Here's Jennings, picked up by Brown. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two. It's on Shannon Brown.
Not a great year for the Bucks, and as they were eliminated from playoff contention, Jennings let his unhappiness with that and with the roster turnover be known. He was pretty adamant and demonstrative about it.
And the first one drops. Touching back on that story about Jennings, he has a bit of a point, but you still can't expect smooth sailing each year as a now third-year player. Steve, what do you think about that?
Well, you usually just have to work harder to get back to the playoffs, and I would think Jennings will do that. He was disappointing in his second season. His field goal percentage was way down. He's got a lot of improvement to make individually, and he doesn't need to worry about what's going on with the roster around him.
Now, here's Brown. He's got 7, and Jennings picks him up defensively. And that one's good. 9 points for Shannon Brown.
We know he can run hot or cold, but I like the way he's playing today.
Here's Udrich. Pulls it up. Milwaukee, no good that time either. Deflected. Even numbers. Now Ilyasova. He feeds it to Udrich. There's a screen. Picked up by Brown. 6 to shoot. He dishes it to Ilyasova. Here's Udrich. No good. Suns leading by 4. Here's the mayor. Pass to Hill. Launches it. Another 3 for Phoenix.
I tell you what, he'll be quite contented to sit out there beyond the arc and knock down shot after shot if they're going to play defense like that. Tighten it up out there.
Now here's Jennings. He has 5. Here's Udrich. He's covered by Brown. Udrich dishes to Ilyasova. And Mbamute kicks to Udrich. Some solid defense from Brown.
Tell you what, against one of the best finishers, that's exactly the kind of defense you need to play. And you know, despite the number of turnovers, Kevin, they've still got the lead here.
Well, eventually, guys, you know those mistakes will come back and haunt you, so they've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball.
And Gooden backs in. Makes the lead pass. It's stolen by Morris.
Excellent steal that time. Pesky defensive play on his part.
It's Brown on the wing. Here's the mayor. Back to Brown. There's the 3. Another 3 for Phoenix.
Fellas, they are heating up from outside now.
Yep, of their last 5 hoops, 3 of them have come from long range.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee.
You know, the Suns have had a rep as a run-and-gun team, but last season they didn't run all that much. In fact, they were in the bottom half of the league in fast break points.
Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. You look at the Grizzlies. Right now they're off to a fast start. First place in the conference. And, of course, the Suns way down the ladder.
Looking at the Suns, they've proven they have a long way to go if they're going to be a competitive team in this league.
And even if they weren't expected to play at a high level this year, I think most people felt they were capable of being better than what they're showing right now.
Making a switch here, the Bucks. Ellis. And so that's the end of the first half. And we'll get it going after this from the Bradley Center.
Glad you could join us this Saturday night. It's time for the HB Halftime Report. For the Phoenix Suns, they have the lead against the Bucks at Bradley Center. Just a once-in-a-season shooting performance we're seeing from them. They're wearing out the twine. Some textbook basketball from Shannon Brown. He's up to 19 points and has been on the mark from deep so far. For the Bucks, they haven't had the same luck. They've started out well this season, but experiencing a letdown in this one. A rough first half for Monte Ellis. He'll be happy to change baskets. Even told his coach the lid was on that side of the court. Around the league we go, scores and stories. At Time Warner Cable Arena, the Bobcats with the win over the Jazz. With that game in the books, they split their last two outings. Corey Maggette led the team in points. And another game that wrapped up, the Kings came out on top against the Bulls in Chicago. So now that's 2 in a row for them. It was Marcus Thornton leading them in scoring. And now a look at the other NBA action. Golden State with a loss to the Rockets in Houston. 6-point difference in that one. And that'll end things for us here in the studio. We'll see you next time.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Here's Brown. 15-point game. They've got Ellis, Luke Richard, and Baamute out there with Ilyasova. Then there's Gooden, and it's Jennings in at the point guard. So that's who Scott Skiles starts the second half with. Here's Gortat. Lays it up and in on the nice reverse. Here's Udrich. Here is Livingston. Here's the screen. Chance now to check out the schedule for Milwaukee. They've got the Timberwolves ahead of them next in Minneapolis. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. Here's Red, backing him down. Can't hit the turnaround jumper. Bucks trail by 15. Here's Udrich. Up with it. The rebound by Childress. Childress has got 3 rebounds now in this one. Red for 3. It's hauled in by Harris. Now Udrich. And again, the Bucks miss.
That's a string of bad shooting for him. He's starting to rush things a little bit, I think.
And that's the instinct you'd like to see, but he'd be better off just slowing things down a little bit.
No good. And it's Milwaukee the other way. They've definitely hit that groove offensively.
They sure have, guys. I mean, really aggressive. And I like that posture and mindset. Stay aggressive.
Yeah. Steve, you like groove, don't you?
I do. I love groove, Kevin, and I love the attack mode this team is in, too. I mean, they're really getting into the paint. They're getting whatever they want offensively.
Here's the mayor. And here is Childress. Just 4 to shoot. And here's Dudley for 3. No good. Bucks trail by 13. Here's Udrich. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Guys, I thought Milwaukee did a pretty decent job at home, despite not being a high-octane offensive team. 22 and 19 at home, respectable.
2 shots.
First free throw is good. Well, back to the Bucks at home. They won games here, but just didn't score a whole lot in the process.
Yeah, they were last in home scoring in the NBA, as well as field goal percentage. But this is a team that really has a defensive identity, and they were able to scrap and claw and just kind of figure out a way to win games at home.
Here's Udrich. The Suns getting the bucket. Stolen by Dudley. It's one-on-one. Dunks it down.
Man, that's the problem when you don't protect the ball.
Exactly. When you surrender the ball like that, you put your defense at a huge disadvantage.
Now Udrich. He's got 8. Here's Delfino. Here's Livingston. Hits the jump hook.
And he knows how to finish when he gets that close to the hoop.
Suns leading by 13. Dudley the pass to Childress. Guarded by Harris. Now here's Childress. Here's the Mayor. 6 on the shot clock. Pulls it from the elbow. Another one falls for Phoenix.
It's been a complete game for him, hasn't it?
Yep, I agree with you there. I mean, he's been in the middle of everything going on.
Timeout called, the Bucks.
Well, the Bucks had all kinds of problems last year. They really didn't do a good job against the Western Conference. In fact, they failed to even reach double-digit wins against Western Conference opponents.
And some changes here for the Bucks. Drew Gooden has checked in for Utah. Ilyasova comes in for Harris. And it's Ellis in for Sean Livingston. And then for Phoenix, Gortat's checked in for Lopez. Morris comes in for Josh Childress. And it's Hill in for Michael Redd. Here's Udrich. Puts up a 3. Ellis can't get it to go. Back to that point Steve was making with the Bucks in the West. Clark Western teams have no problem scoring.
Well, it starts with, one, the talent that's out in the Western Conference across the board and style of play. The Bucks, on the other hand, had all sorts of problems putting up points, and it just made for a bad combination. Playing and trying to beat the West and not being able to score, that's a recipe for not being successful.
Bucks trail by 15. And it's Ellis finishing it off. Now let's take a look at it once again with our Spike Slam Cam.
Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe that finish? Boy, a little bit of flair and flavor at the end of it.
Oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average typical dunk.
Steps back and fire. That's good. Hill's got 6 points in the quarter. So it's Milwaukee now. 15-point game. They've got the Timberwolves ahead of them next in Minneapolis. And that'll be the first of a 2-game road trip for them. Now Udrich. He's got 8. Back to Ellis. Clock at 6. It's good. This time the assist from Udrich. Udrich has got 3 assists tonight.
That three-point percentage is terrific here in the second half. It could be a big factor if they stay this high.
Yeah, they're going to have a chance to get back into this game if they can continue to shoot the ball like this.
And here are the Bucks now. The Suns getting the bucket. Here's Delfino. Grant Hill covering. Now Udrich. Shot clock at 6. It's blocked.
Well, I tell you what, guys, his struggles from the field have definitely taken their toll on the team today.
And it's Gortat finishing it off.
How about that? Nice and easy right there.
Yeah, he didn't even try to do it too much.
Nope, no fancy stuff. He'll just take his 2 points, go back and play some defense. You got to love Grant Hill. Even at this advanced age, he has been so productive for the Suns the last few seasons and still playing at an extremely high level.
Now here's Ellis. Again, the miss by Ellis. Morris dishes to Dudley. Passes to Gortat. Shoots. Milwaukee with the rebound. Gooden's got 3 rebounds now in this one. And Grant Hill, Steve, as you mentioned just moments ago, getting up there, 38 years of age. Last season, his best since 2006, and Clark, he's not missing games anymore.
He's durable, and you have to give a lot of credit to the training staff in Phoenix for how well he's retained that mobility. And more than anything, I've been impressed by his ability to defend. I mean, at his age, that's amazing. I mean, he's out there not hiding at all defensively, guarding guys on the perimeter and doing it effectively.
Easily their best defender.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Not his best quarter. I mean, the shots just haven't fallen for him.
Here's Udrich. 8 points for him. Ellis with it. Now Udrich. Puts it up. And here is Dudley. 7 points in the game. Here's Gortat.
Well, Gortat was a really nice pickup for the Suns. He was a backup to Dwight Howard in Orlando. Never really got the minutes that he deserved. And the Suns gave him that opportunity, and he made the most of it.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Larry Sanders is checked in for Ilyasova. And Mbamute comes in for Carlos Delfino. And it's Jennings in for Udrich. Here is Jennings. Picked up by Brown. Brown against Jennings. Kicks to Dunleavy. His first shot coming late. And the basket by Harris. And Gortat has really given the Suns that presence they so desperately needed in the paint. He's been just what the doctor ordered for the Phoenix ball club.
Well, I love his size. He's got a big body. He's active. He's an excellent offensive rebounder, Kevin. And he's not a bad finisher around the rim. So he's shown that he's a starting caliber center, although I think his best role is maybe as a reserve. I just think he brings that element that's special when you're of his talent, when you can come off the bench.
Gortat, the former backup to Dwight Howard over in Orlando before the trade to Phoenix. On the court for the Suns, the mayor in at shooting guard. Robin Lopez out there with Markieff Morris. Then there's Jared Dudley, and it's Brown in at the 1. Just 5 on the clock. There's Jennings with the 3. Morris with the rebound. Morris has got his 5th rebound in this one. Here's the mayor. Baseline try. And Mbamute pulls it in. And Clark, they're going to have to make a pretty big comeback here.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think the clock is a factor right now, at least not yet. I mean, they don't need to change their pace of play. Keep attacking.
Yeah, I agree. You got to make sure you take your time, but start to be more effective and efficient with each possession. And you got to buckle down defensively.
Here is Ilyasova. Over Morris. Ilyasova hits the bucket.
Smart move with that mismatch he's got.
You know what? That extra advantage sure pays off on a mid-range jumper.
Brown against Jennings. Now here's Lopez. He passes to Brown. The 3. Phoenix no good that time either.
Remember, he was hot early. 3 3-pointers in the first half, but he may have to start putting the ball on the floor. His shot's not working here in the second.
Here is Ilyasova. Here's Dunleavy, and another basket for Milwaukee.
Still down big, but you like to see that they've strung together several good possessions in a row now.
Yeah, and it's a start, and you've got to start somewhere. They need something to build off of to get back into this one.
Dudley, he's guarded by Mbamute. Mbamute with the steal.
Kevin, he didn't turn the ball over once in the first half, but it's been a different story for him since the break.
That cuts the lead to single digits. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. Moving it around nicely. Morris kicks to Dudley. Here's Lopez. 6 to shoot. The dish to Dudley. Looking to end the drought. That is good. And the Suns lead by 11.
You see that as soon as there was an opening, he threaded the pass right through it.
Brown against Jennings. Back to Harris. Money shot. That falls. Great assist by Brandon Jennings. Jennings has got 3 assists tonight. Dudley with it. Here's the Mayor. Brown outside. There's the screen. Up off the screen. Bucks trail by 9. Jennings for 3. And that one's good. Here's Brown. Here's the Mayor. Now Morris. Lets it go with a 3. And it's Brown missing.
You got to be careful, though. There's a real balancing act. You can't let your ego try to run your offense. You can see he really wanted to answer that made 3 with one of his own. Not the best decision.
Now Lopez following the miss by Brandon Jennings from deep. Brown outside. And Jennings picks him up defensively. Brown outside. He's guarded by Jennings. Here's the Mayor with the clock winding down straight to the bottom of the rack. Here is Jennings. Takes it right up, and it's Phoenix with the rebound. Brown's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Here's the Mayor. Shot from the wing. That is good. And it's a 10-point Suns lead. Now Dunleavy. Outside Jennings. Let's go. Jump shot is good. Here's Brown. Here's the Mayor. Milwaukee with the rebound.
Now, he had plenty of space, poor defense, but I'm not sure about his touch from that range.
Ilyasova passes to Dunleavy. The pass to Ilyasova. From downtown, Jennings can't get it to go. Suns leading by 8. Brown outside. And Jennings picks him up defensively. Here's the Mayor, defended by Dunleavy. Great D that time from Jennings.
He has not shot the ball well here, and I think it's time for him to start looking for his teammates a little bit.
Feeds it to Ilyasova. Four on the clock. And taken away by Brown.
You know, guys, you look at it. How's that for finishing with flavor?
Absolutely fantastic.
I think he was saving that one for a special occasion.
Here's Jennings. Picked up by Brown. Dunleavy kicks to Jennings. Five to shoot. Expanding his range. And Baamute can't get it to go. Suns leading by 10. Brown outside. Now the feed to Morris. Up top, Dudley. Shoots. And Shannon Brown, the bucket on the assist by Dudley. And it's a 12-point Suns lead. Timeout called the Bucks.
So far, his shot selection has been questionable. A lot of tough, contested shot. If I'm coaching, I might sit him down for a minute.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Scott Skiles was going over with his team. He was far from happy in the huddle and asked his players, why are we not taking care of the basketball? Don't keep forcing passes where there's no...
So the Suns win it. They came, they saw, they conquered.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.
And that'll wrap it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan, and thanks for tuning in.
I think you have to be considered for player of the game with the all-around performance you pulled off. Any thoughts on how well you played tonight?
I guess it was a result of the way the game flowed, man. I don't know. I shot pretty well, made some good passes, and was able to grab some boards. I'm just happy we won and that I was able to contribute. It's not every night that you're able to make an impact in so many areas, so it was definitely a fun game for me, man. I hope I can do it again more often, and maybe that'll help us win more, too.